So we are now hearing that Australia's PM Morrison is securing a majority government. Does that mean that it will be easier for him to carry out some of his pledges?
Yes, it does. Yes, you're right. He's on track to secure at least the 76 seats he needs to get a majority in the lower house. He's also looking like he's going to strengthen his hand in the upper house, with vote counting still going on there. So in both houses, it looks like he's going to be in a much better position to get his legislative agenda through. His first priority is going to be tax cuts, sweeping tax cuts for middle income earners. It will be interesting to see how far Labor goes in trying to block any of those measures when Parliament resumes. We're just not sure at the moment. So yeah, a very surprising win. I think people here in Canberra are just trying to work out what exactly it means, because everyone here, including all the levers of government, were all expecting would have a new government in Labor, and that's just not going to occur.
Yeah, Jason, the ABC, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, now reporting Scott Morrison on track to have 77 seats in the Parliament, so that means he can appoint a Speaker and still have a majority. But one of the interesting things on the weekend was Tony Abbott, the former Prime Minister, losing his seat to an independent. Now, on the way out the door, Tony Abbott hailed Scott Morrison, saying his place in the Liberal pantheon is now secure for pulling off this victory. But Abbott, of course, was one of the key wreckers in the past 3 years of all that instability. He's gone now, but our previous guest, Jill Shepherd, said that might not be the end of the internal party problems for Scott Morrison, even though he now has legendary status.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, obviously there's been a huge amount of turmoil within that coalition, where it's been basically split between the moderates in the party, people like former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, who wanted greater action to tackle climate change, and the other sort of right-wingers in the party, who including Home Affairs Minister Peter Dutton, who sort of instigated the removal of Turnbull last year. So the party has been, or the whole coalition have been very divided. Morrison's done an amazing job to sort of put the band-aids on top of those wounds, if you like, in this and make during the election campaign, and sort of make voters forget that there was problems within the coalition, but deep-seated. There's still underneath all that. There's still a lot of problems and I guess that comes through in the lack of real policy agenda from the coalition. They've won despite that. You know, they've really, beyond the tax cuts, there's really not much to show what the coalition actually, how they want to change Australia or their vision for Australia. I think a lot of people have their own ideas within the party about where that should turn.
It's really interesting that you say that, because the Australian economy right now at a very fragile time. Of course, we continue to see the downside pressure on property prices, as shown on this GTV chart on the Bloomberg. And really clever coming from the coalition government now with that TV ad that Shorten is a bill that Australia can't afford. So was it a vote for the Liberal National Coalition and the current government, or was it just a vote against any sort of change at a fragile time for the Australian economy?
Yeah, I think we'll have to see it as the latter, really. I mean, as you say, Labor went with these big ideas, if you like, including tougher action on climate change and stripping tax perks from wealthy Australians. It just didn't work. There was just too much for voters to comprehend. Meanwhile, Morrison was basically saying, as you say, don't trust these guys, don't trust Labor, just stick with us. It's kind of ironic, because he's saying that, stick with us because we're the party of sound economic management. But as you say, that there's signs of real drift in the economy now, and there's concerns that this era that Australia's enjoyed of nearly 28 years of consecutive growth is just about over. And obviously, the coalition has really overseen, that happening. So it's going to be interesting to see what levers Morrison and, the independent central bank can pull to see if it can turn around this drift in the economy, which I guess is been triggered by stagnant wages and the falling house price market.
Yeah, Jason, one of the only policies that you did mention of the government to try and turn around that drift is tax breaks. So when do we think the Parliament is going to sit, and when might those tax breaks be legislated?
That's a good question. We don't know at this stage. It's a new government, so Morrison will basically be bunkering down today, I'd say, with his advisors and senior cabinet ministers and nutting that out. He may decide to go as early as next month. The old Senate is still actually in power until July the 1st, so he may decide that he thinks he can get these tax cuts through the old Senate, or he may wait till the new one comes in after July 1st. So we'll have to wait and see on that.